Yeehaw, it's YouTube Tuesday. This is Jean with C&J Farm. I'm here at Matthews County, Medicinal Urban Egg Farm right here in Virginia, Matthews County, Virginia. I'm here today with Ed, and he's from Portsmouth, right?
Portsmouth, Virginia.
He's from Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm going to have him introduce himself to you. He's here helping me put in some Nuc hives that we've never done before. We've always done package bees. So he's going to talk us through the process here. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ed Gray. I live in Portsmouth, Virginia, and I've been beekeeping for 4 years now. This hive is started from an overwintered queen that I had. I had 4 queens that I started from that I overwintered, and then started queen cells and did splits, and that's got us to here. Normally a nuc is 5 frames, which is the one box, but these guys were doing so well I had to add a second box. We'll open these guys up now and start moving these over.
Sounds good. We were hoping to wait till this evening to put them in, and some of the family here from the farm wanted to be here to watch, but nucs are a little different than package hives. They really need to get out of the hive. They need to get settled, they need ventilation, they need food and water, so we just couldn't wait till 6. So I'm really glad Ed had a minute. He could help us go ahead and do it, because of course CA's working full-time, so he couldn't really come out here right now. Although he'd love to, he keeps popping out here. But thank you so much, Ed, for helping us. Ed is big time into beekeeping, and I'm sure I can learn quite a few things from him. And he's also into Korean natural farming, which we're going to talk a lot about. And he's also starting into rabbits. So, as all of us are, we're trying to be more self-sustaining, being more natural, and we're just really trying to think more about the earth and grounding and doing more things ourselves. So it's just fascinating. Oh, I have one of those too, Ed. I love that, to hang the frames on. They're great. Okay, we've got an empty 10-frame hive here with a screen bottom board, although Ed says he's kind of not using the screen ones anymore. But
no, this is what I use right here. You can see it's just a solid bottom board.
Okay, he uses the solid bottom boards. And we might transition, who knows? We're always trying different things. He just opened it up.
These are some girls up top. Top box doesn't really have too many bees, but I didn't want it to swarm, so I added some more. As you can see, they're moving up.
Now I'm melting some beeswax that should we rub some on there too?
This one already has wax on the
Already has
top.
some wax.
Oh,
it does. It does. Okay, good. Yeah, some of the other frames he brought with him do not, and so I'm melting some beeswax to rub up in there, and that will encourage them to build wax on these empty frames.
So I have them staggered every other one with a foundation, just in an effort to try and get the girls to grow straight.
Yeah, that's always a challenge. It's always a challenge. You try to... Yeah, it's called burr cone when they kind of go crazy and make these crazy designs. Now a nuc hive, I know we get package bees, it's like 3,000 bees in a queen, but a nuc is a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, this hive probably, each one of its frames has maybe about 300 to 500 bees on it. You can see once I get this frame off, you'll see there's a lot more bees.
See, this is different than I thought. Now, see, I was thinking...
You can see you have all ages of bees, too. Yeah. You can see the different colors of them. These are all older bees being darker. You can see when we get into it, you'll get some younger bees, and they look almost dusty.
Now, see, I was thinking, just being a beginner at this nuc business, that was a nuc of bees in that, but it's a 2-layer nuc. Okay.
No, so this is basically, this was a 10 frame, so this is the same as you have right there.
Okay, I get you.
It's just vertical.
A vertical 10 frame. Okay, I get you.
So this is 2 5-frame bodies stacked on top of each other.
Okay. Very cool. Okay, so this would be a complete hive. Very different from putting in package bees.
All right, so all these are just workers. We'll leave them. No need to upset them.
Remember, CA and I have been natural beekeepers since 1998, but we were trained by an elderly Dutch guy, and we just always did packages. This is fascinating. I've been wanting to try a nuc.
I marked the queen yesterday. When I marked her, she was on this frame here. I couldn't tell you where she is today. I'm guessing that she's probably between this frame and this frame.
Yeah.
So I will start on this side.
Thank you so much for marking her. That makes it so much easier and quicker. Takes a while to find the queen sometimes if she's not marked. It's so much quicker if she's marked.
All right. Come on. As you can see, I have only smoked these guys when I pulled them away from the truck. I haven't smoked them again since.
It was interesting too. Ed was telling me that he uses pine straw. We used to use pine straw, and then for some reason we stopped. But I think we're going to go back to pine straw. He reminded me that pine straw's got the same pinene in it that is in medicinal hemp.
Here's our queen right there. As you can see, she's running along the top. She's running over.
There she is. See, with the white dot. See her right there. Cool. Very
We will
cool.
go put her in, and now we know
Where she is.
exactly where she is. I'm going to put her relatively in the middle of the hive, and now I'm going to butt this comb right up to her, just for now, and that prevents me from squashing her by accident.
That's one of the bad things that beekeepers do accidentally.
If you
Squash the
notice, some of
queen.
my frames have propolis on it. I'm not super about getting it off. I just kind of leave it.
Look at all that. Wow.
But as you can see, that is a good laying queen.
Yeah, look at all that
She
brood.
has brood all in the center, honey along the outsides.
Yep.
Wow,
Look at
and
that.
that is a complete brood
that.
on the other side.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. She's a good one. That's one trouble I've been having lately, the last few years, is weak queens. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of a sign of the
I
times.
think
Are
that
you having trouble with them?
I have not had an issue with weak queens. I had one queen that went a little bit slow, but she didn't get started until October last year. And that queen right now is triple stacked. So,
Okay.
you know, I would say no. I'm not seeing, as you can see, this is all started from
Look at that.
4 queens.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
I left this burr comb on the bottom. And the only reason is if you look very closely in there, there's eggs in there.
Oh, yep,
So
you're
when
right.
I did a hive
Yeah.
inspection yesterday, I realized that she had eggs in there. She was running out of room, so I left them.
Oh, yeah.
We'll let her finish that out.
Well, you know, nothing in nature is like perfect, so we ought to resist the urge to just scrape them off and make everything perfect. That's for sure.
No, I did scrape some off that had just honey in them or had no larvae or eggs or anything in them yet. I did clean it up a little bit. As you can see, these guys are super calm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I told Ed I'm not wearing my gloves now, but I did put my suit on. He's a lot braver than me. I've tried the suitless thing before and gotten stung up, so I'm a little bit chicken. Oh, look at that. I just think, oh, they're just so beautiful. Been doing this since 1998, but I think I see some.
There's one that's hatching right there in the center. You see the white faces in the center of the brood?
Yes.
Those are bees that are currently hatching.
Wow.
Showing their way out.
Yeah, can you see them in there? Right there. You can see like a little white
There's
face.
2 of them. They're kind of about 2
See
inches
if I can-
apart.
I
The
can't
other
seem
one,
to find them in my camera.
there's a bee over the other one
There
now.
it is, right there. Right there. They're starting to come out right there. See that little white? That's a bee starting to hatch. Cool beans, huh? 21 days from lay to hatch.
For workers.
Yeah, for workers.
And 16 for queens.
You know that 21 days is the same for chicks. Ducks take 28, but 21 seems to be a magical number.
That's interesting because drones
cool?
are 28.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I did not realize it.
Yeah. The same numbers repeat in nature. It's so wonderful. Oh, thank you for helping me do this. Oh my
So
gosh.
this is one of the
Beautiful.
newest frame that they're working on.
Beautiful.
You can see they have, I don't know about that side,
Yeah, they're starting to.
but this side has a bunch of uncapped brood.
It's beautiful. Wow. Hope I'm not making y'all dizzy with my unprofessional choreography here. I'll try to stop wiggling so much. Is this so exciting? I have a hard time. I want to jump up and down. I'm so glad to have bees again at the farm this year.
We'll clean off this little bit of bird comb up here that doesn't have anything
Actually
in it.
planning on trying to work harder on the bees this year. The last few years I haven't worked on them as hard as I should, and I've not really kept them around as good as I could. And I'm really going to be experimenting more with herbs in the hives to try to bulk up their immunity.
With the Korean natural farming, you use a product called OHN, Oriental Herbal Nutrient, is a supplement that I give my bees. It's a tincturing process that is done that takes 3 months.
Wow.
And I most definitely seem to notice that bees, go after it.
Are healthier. Huh?
And they seem to be healthy.
Well, that's the whole thing.
So, we got some bees still in the hive. They haven't decided to make their way over.
How do we do that? Just put it near the entrance and they'll go in?
No. So what we'll do here...
Brush them out?
No, I don't like the brush, to be honest. I feel that a brush is a bit aggressive. I try to be as delicate with my bees as possible. I don't like to smoke them much. I don't like to brush them much. I try to... I will get another box and sit it on top of this box and then kind of shake them.
I've done that with package bees. You know, the last few that won't come out of the box.
Yeah.
What I do, I'll spray them with a little sugar water, kind of so they can't fly, and then I shake them down in there.
Yeah. If you put a second box on there, generally, the just downward motion, they just want to all go
right.
In. So.
Very cool.
Look, you can see these guys already decided to make their way in. This one.
Okay, so he's putting a second box on there. Okay, so you can shake those other guys down. Okay.
Yeah.
I have used the brush, but I try to be really gentle, super gentle, because I could see where it could be damaging.
Yeah. Well, a couple bees in the air. It'll happen.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot of them. Not quite all of them.
What I usually do with my last in my box, I'll like set it near the entrance, and then they all go in that night.
Yeah, they'll generally find their way in.
They all go in that night.
Or find their way onto you.
I know I got a bunch of them on me, but nobody's stinging me yet. I'm not wearing my bee gloves.
I haven't been stung once.
Yeah, you didn't, did you?
No.
I know. Sometimes I've tried and they don't sting me. Other times, boy, they tear me up. You just never know.
Depends on the bees.
I think you're right. These are Russians, right?
These are Russians. I have never personally kept other bees. I've been in some other bee yards. I think that the Russians are calmer. I hear other people think that they're more aggressive, but I guess it's each their own.
I've always thought they were, but you know, I tried them for a couple of years because I thought they were a little hardier. They could take some of the colder weather and some of the toxins and pesticides and stuff a little better. But I like them pretty much equally.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw yours, though, I suspected because they were darker. You know, darker than the Italians.
Bees, so to be honest with you, the queen goes and breeds with up to 18 drones, ideally, for a well-mated queen. And she can actually dictate when the other when she lays which sperm. And so in the middle of the summer, she could start popping out a bunch of Italians or Candiolans, and then in the wintertime switch over to producing more Russians that turn to be blacker and do better with a colder environment.
Yes, yeah.
So having mutt bees is actually beneficial in my opinion, because then the female can choose what she wants to do. It's all dictated by the queen, not by you breeding her to all the drones from the same colony.
Sounds like a plan. Have you ever caught them in their mating, circling over the hives? I have. I just love it.
So when they're circling over the hives, typically that's not actually mating. Depending on the time of day. Typically you don't see where mating happens. It's not near the hives. They fly away from the hive.
Oh.
What you're seeing them flying over the hives, is what we're trying to accomplish now by getting them in the hive early is that they will actually go out and do an orientating flight where they orientate themselves to the sun and to where their hive is so that they can find their way from the flower fields back to the hive.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I thought the circling, the cases I've seen was when I caught a swarm, or it was like a new swarm from one of my hives, and I catch them right away with the new queen, and I put them in another hive, and then I've seen them circling. I thought that was the mating.
No, so what that is actually them looking for a new hive. So those are bees that are going out searching to find a new area to is a hive. So when you have a swarm, your queen will post up in an area, and all of the colony will cluster around her, and then they go out and they have other bees go and scout to find ideal hive locations, and they report back to the cluster, and when they find a suitable hive, then they all leave from that area.
Okay,
so that was what you were seeing, is them flying off actually looking for a new hive location.
Okay. Yeah, the bees are fascinating. They are fascinating.
Yeah,
and yeah, I can get all your equipment back to you if you want to leave them here until they all come out, you know. And I'll be putting in these other two.
I need to pull all these plumes out. There's a couple bees stuck between the mesh and the front of the hive. They're not hurt. They're just, they got out and they're walking along the edge.
Yeah, I'll get all your boxes back to you. Because I got to do those other two real quick. I got some wax melting to put on the other frames to tempt them to build out these empty frames. Ed says he likes doing the same thing because if the bees build their own wax frames, then you know it's good, clean foundation. You know, nothing that's come from pesticide-treated hives and things like that. So that is the purpose. Keeping them as healthy as you can, you know.
They might decide to actually all come out now.
I've never had any luck getting them all out of there at one time.
If I separate the boxes, I could. But they're stuck in the box right now.
I just usually kind of tilt it up at the entrance, and they always go in at night, and then the next morning I come out and grab it.
Generally, I just use my hand and brush them along.
I actually had some bees one time. They were near a plastic lawn chair, and they actually came out and built a nest under that plastic lawn chair.
The problem with right now with a nuc and leaving a nuc here, unlike your box, is your box doesn't smell like, it doesn't really have the pheromones. This is their hive.
Right.
So if you leave this box here,
I see what you mean. Okay.
They will go back to this box.
Okay.
It doesn't quite work the same way as a box of bees.
You're right.
You really do need to get them out of here and get them into the new hive.
Okay, I get you.
You don't have the luxury of being like, hey, girls,
I see.
take your time.
Because the pheromones are already there. I get you.
Right.
Yep.
They're going to want to go back to this. I'll actually put this box inside my truck.
Oh, wow.
So that all the girls in the air...
So they can't smell it.
So they won't go back to it, because they'll go back to this box.
Wow.
Because this is home.
Yeah. Nucs are different than packages, that's for sure.
Yeah, because you're taking home. Basically, a nuc is a mobile home.
I know right after you and I talked last week, and right after somebody called and said they had package bees, and I'm like, no, I think I'm fine. I wanted to try this new procedure, and I knew Ed was all organic, and no, he's a natural beekeeper too, so I felt really good about getting these nucs and learning how to install a Nuc Hive, which is a new thing.
And as you can see now that we did that, most of them have all decided to go in.
Yeah.
They're all pretty clustered in the middle.
But yeah, I see what you mean. So if you took that and stuck it over even way away from the hive near that apple tree, they would all go to there because they smell it, huh?
Right.
I get you. Well, I have to say, I think a brush would be fine.
I mean, I don't...
A gentle brush.
I'll use a stick or my hand.
You know something, beekeepers, we're all so different. We're all so creative. We're always creating things. I saw somebody one day, you like the pine straw to burn. He also had like a little pine brush he used.
Yeah.
It was like a little whisk he had put together, Yeah. So beekeepers, we're always experimenting with different ways, different things, Trying to invent the better beehive. Oop, I think a bee just walked up my sleeve. Hopefully he'll leave. He'll walk back out. If you don't panic when a bee lands on you, a lot of times they won't even sting you. Well, that's beautiful. So now you're going to take that back off. Huh? Okay, I get you.
Yeah, that was just, when you shake them, they all go down.
Well, I tell you, I love that you don't have to like hang the queen in the middle and all that stuff. And
she's ready to go.
Yeah.
This queen will be laying tomorrow.
She was a beauty too. She was a beauty. Okay, so we're just he's gonna put the top, that we got an inner cover we're gonna put on there.
Help him out a little bit.
And the top, and he's trying to get them to go down in there so we don't smash them. Because that's the hardest part.
This is a commercial box. If you look, this is my box.
Yeah.
I don't have any frames, but my box are built, and they have more relief in them than this commercially made
commercial
box.
Ones, yeah.
And the reason for that is, A, if the top gets messed up, I can shave it down a little bit. But B, I don't have to worry about squashing my bees when I put my roof on.
That's true.
And
it's a little lower, huh?
Yeah, and I just run straight plywood for roofs. I don't do anything fancy.
Yeah.
Just a straight plywood roof.
Very cool.
Do you have an inner cover?
Yes, right underneath here. It's right there. There's your inner cover. You put that on, and then...
Now, see, that's another thing. I don't use the inner covers. You have to tell me how you like the inner covers. I found that with the inner covers, I had a tendency to have ants collect underneath of the inner cover.
I have seen ants, yes.
By removing the inner cover, you now allow the bees to guard that area. And so changing your roof design so that the roof design has openings on either side allows you to pry it up, and then you can eliminate this piece, and it allows for the bees to guard the whole hive more actively.
So you don't use one, you just use the top, huh?
No, I just use a straight top.
Okay.
And my tops are super simple. They're just a piece of plywood. Literally, that's all they are. And sometimes I even like when they warp, and it gives a little bit of ventilation. The bees come in. I'll put this on now.
Well, I thought that was the reason for the inner cover, though, so they had less area to guard. They just guard that little center thing.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
So that's all they do guard is that little center. So this leaves this whole area for hive beetles and ants to go and live that is unguarded. So the hive beetle can go down and go grab whatever they want and come up here. The ants can do the same thing.
That's interesting.
And as opposed to taking it all off, and now they have to actually come into the hive.
Okay, well, I will consider that. Hey, you learn something new every day. I'm a vintage person, but I try to keep open-minded about new things and new ways and new ideas,
I build all my own equipment, and I keep as many hives as I can.
Yeah.
Hives start to get expensive, so
they do.
You can eliminate a piece of wood.
Shoot, yeah.
You eliminated some dollars.
Well, thank you so much for helping us put this one in and for all the knowledge. I will consider everything. I know you're like me. You're always looking at new ways to make it better. Make it better. Make them healthier.
They already look like they're going in the hive.
Thanks so much for joining us today. And my battery's about done, and I think we are too. So I'm going to get busy putting these other two, and he's going to head back to Portsmouth. So see you next week. Be well.